What I'm going to do here today, I'm going to share what I know from my background. I do not claim to have expert knowledge on this subject and know everything. I just want to share observation I've made before, because I've met other people, other colleagues of mine, even before COVID, and realizing going to their offices that it was not safe at all. Um, and I'm going to explain a bit where I'm coming from, where with that observation. Now, first thing is obviously, why am I even talking about safety? Why do I even say, okay, I'm gonna tell you everything I know about it, and you're gonna have to take my word about it? Why is that? Well, I'm a martial art instructor or coach. I've been studying it for about 20 years now, and I've been a coach. I've been running my own club for about 11 years now. And what I do is Aikido, which is what's called a very defensive martial art, very gentle. We just fold people in half instead of killing them, which is nice and gentle, and we're very friendly like this. And the thing with when you run a martial art club, a lot of people come to see you and expecting you to teach them self-defense. That's one of the main reasons people come to see us. Sometimes it's because they've seen Bruce Lee on TV or Jackie Chan or Jet Li. Some people just have an interest anywhere on Japan, but a lot of people is, please teach me to defend myself. And because of that, I had to look obviously at what is self-defense, how do you do that properly? And turns out that actually self-defense in general, and then I'll talk more precisely about personal safety in therapy, self-defense is not about knowing how to fight your way out of a bad situation. It's a small portion of it, but that's something you rely on when you either been very unlucky or you messed up, basically. Self-defense in general is about good habits to minimize any risk you may have, because we do not live in a perfect world. Yes, we got every right to walk in the street at any time we want, go to any pub we like, and all of that. But the reality is there are some dangerous people out there. And unfortunately as well, looking at statistics, ladies, you're even more at risk than men as well, which is infuriating in so many ways. And I do apologize on behalf of mankind, more than the males on this one. They're idiots, they don't know what they're doing. But basically, I think is if you look at self-defense in general, it's all about knowing to lock your doors, don't walk out on your own in a dark alleyway, don't walk with your headphones on like a zombie, totally ignorant of the world. All of that is self-defense. Fighting your way out only gives you additional option. That's all there is to it. So today, I'm not going to try to fight, because it's quite tricky to do that via Zoom. Okay, and if you want to learn about that, maybe you should have Jessica. She's got a very good kickboxing class, and she knows what she's doing, and she's the expert on that. I'm not. So today I'm just going to be talking about how do you minimize the risk, and also in this talk, I'll be talking about some uncomfortable scenarios, and because of that, the risk will be more in the forefront of your mind. So, but you've got to remember that in everyday life, that risk is very small. And if you keep in mind the various things I'm going to be talking to you about, and something we can discuss, and you might be able to share some of your ways of keeping safe as well, we're going to make that risk even more minimal. But there might be time when I'm talking about some scenarios. I'm not going to describe anything in details. I'm going to go through the gory details of anything, because I do not want to trigger anyone. But the one thing I don't want people to think, oh my God, is it really worth having an office because it's so dangerous? No, it's not. Just all I want to do is to make sure that when you go to an office or when you do home visits or whatever it is you're doing, you can do it having thought about all of the potential problems so they don't happen to you. Prevention, and that's it. All right. So first thing also I'm going to talk, obviously I'm not going to talk about Zoom sessions because that's pretty safe, okay? Because you're literally separated. And I'm going to limit this talk about people who have a dedicated office, home office, and also mention a few things about people who want to do home visits. And also, I know that currently with COVID, it's quite limited, but different places, even now, will have different restrictions. So I think it's still worth thinking about it. Anyway, I'm saying COVID will not last forever, and one day we'll be able to see people again. So first thing first. So general advice, whatever you're doing, whether you're doing using people in a dedicated office or at home or doing home visit, is always do a risk assessment. Now, people always think about, okay, write down, okay, is there any trip hazard? Is there kind of electrical wiring loose, blah, 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 and all of that? That's all fine. But you also have to think about you're getting someone into your office, into your space, and you got to take them into consideration as well. So another part always uncomfortable to think about it, but you got to think about what can go wrong. What's the worst case scenario if you are with someone in an office on your own? Well, they can become agitated, becoming very threatening, screaming at you and everything, breaking stuff around. Not a nice thing to happen. They might have a kind of, whether it's anger or panic, they may start to lash out on you. Again, risk is minimal, and we can make it more minimal, but it can happen. You've got, and I think the technical term is nutters, crazy people who will want to attack people. Again, remote chance, but you never know. And obviously, things like rape, that can happen as well. You've got to remember that is a possibility. Now, I want to put things into perspective as well here. I've tried to find figures about people being attacked in their office and stuff like that. I couldn't find anything about hypnotherapists, but I've looked for other similar-ish places. So unsurprisingly, psychiatric nurses, 80% of them are attacked by a patient at what time in their careers. But then again, consider what they're doing. They're dealing with people with severe problems on a regular basis. That's their job, unfortunately. Social workers, is about 20% of them will have at least an instance of an attack by a patient at one point in their career. And clinical psychologists, which is closer to us, is about 10%. Now, the thing to remember as well in this is that as hypnotherapists, what we deal with is more limited. And I also even talk about how to limit it even further. So I think force can be even less than that. Also, we got to define what do you consider an assault. An assault can be anywhere from being pushed about to being fatally wounded by someone. So an assault is very, very wide-ranging. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be injured, but to be fair, if you got a patient that push you over to get out, is quite unsettling in itself as well. So we don't want that. So, and also, as I said, because we are hypnotherapists, we try to avoid dealing with people with severe psychiatric disorders. This kind of issues are less likely to happen. Okay, so the very scenario I say it would be offices, on visits and stuff like that. So just looking at my notes, I know where I'm at. Sorry about that if I hesitate here. So basically, what you need to do, knowing that there is a risk, there is a danger there, is to be prepared so you can stay calm. Okay. And even if you can't stay calm on the day, at least you're going to have options already prepared, because the worst time to think of how do I get out of here is when you're panicking. So having that done beforehand, having the thinking done beforehand is always better, especially if you're in that freeze, fight, or flight mode. Having an escape plan settled will help you remain safe. And also, it also will help you remain calm because you know you got backups or backup plans. So what can you do? Well, first, let's look at what you can do even before meeting the client. And I'm going to state a lot of things which can sound obvious to many people, and I hope it's going to be obvious to you, but it might be obvious to everybody, or so maybe not to all of you, and maybe some people watching the replay may say, oh, I forgot about that. So the first thing is to screen your clients. So because your safety begins at first contact when you talk to that person, whether it's via messenger, whether it's on the phone. If you have any kind of doubt, any kind of odd feeling that there's something wrong, listen to it. Because you got to remember, especially if you're a beginner and a new therapist, you have no obligation whatsoever to take a client on. Okay? It's your choice. Even if they sound desperate, even if you're desperate for cash, even if you're trying to build a business or anything like that, you always have the right to refuse to help someone. And you don't even have to say why. Maybe you say, nah, I don't feel this one, there's something. No, always find a way out. It's better to skip a lead and skip a potential client and than take a risk, in my opinion. I don't know about you, but I want to stay safe. And also as well, if you meet someone and you got that nagging feeling that something's wrong, are you going to be able to help them properly? You're always going to be second thinking, second guessing yourself. You're going to be so much on the lookout, you might even miss things doing them. So one thing as well, which is quite useful, if you can either say, no, thank you, I don't want to see you, goodbye, put the phone down, if you don't mind being rude. But it's always useful to have the details at hand of organizations such as the Samaritans, Anxiety UK, or whatever you got in the US or in Italy. Maybe the local, like the NHS in the UK, so any kind of hospital services, any services you know in your country, in your area that can help them. Just tell them, okay, so I can't deal with that with you. You sound desperate, it's an emergency, go and see them. I don't do emergencies, and move on. At least you've done something for them, you've helped them out. So, because again, many of us want to help as many people as we can, but you owe it to yourself and to your other future clients to make your safety and your well-being a priority. That's it. That's basic thing there. Now, a few other things as well is, especially if you contact people over the phone, if they're calling you, use caller ID. Now, do you know what that means? So make sure you know that the phone number appears on your mobile. Even if you got a landline, I think now most companies kind of provide you a phone with the number there. And if anyone calls you with a number, well, why do you have to take them? You may want to be able to take you may say, no, I can be a big man, I can take the risk, and that's fine, it's your choice. But if you got any doubt, just say, no, thank you, I don't want to take that on. So reject withheld numbers, unknown numbers. And when you talk to them, one mistake I even still do now quite a lot, don't forget to ask their names. Now, it sounds something like, why would I forget to ask their names? Actually, on the last 3 calls I've made, I've listened to it again, and on one of them only I've asked for their name because I'm there. Hello, Fox and Hypnotherapy, Christoph speaking. How can I help? And they, oh, I want help to stop smoking. And yeah, sure, I can help you. And I move on. 10 minutes later, I say, oh, sorry, what was your name again? And it sounds rude to ask them. So make it a habit as soon and as early as you can. Just like I've taught myself to not just say hello, so hello, Fox and Hypnotherapy, how can I help? Put your professional voice. When they say, I want help with that, say, sure, I can help. Oh, I'm Christoph, by the way, and you are? And then move on from that. Always say, I've got your number, I've got your name. That's a start. Also, as well as you know, if you use their names, as you're talking to them, you build rapport. You sound friendlier. They're more likely to go with you. So it's not just about safety, it's about business as well. So, but it's something that I know is a mistake I make on a regular basis. So you've talked to them and they sound okay, they sound fairly sane, or at least not dangerous. So the next thing after that, if you want to book the meeting, a very important thing is have an intake form. And or now as well, I always get them to pay upfront online. I used to accept cash. I say, yeah, book a thing with me. When you come in, as you come in, I say hello, I take your money and we sit down. No. I don't just do it for safety. I also do it because I want to reduce people not showing up. At least if they've paid, that's it. They're booked. If you haven't paid, I don't want even to waste my time. I've done that enough. Thank you very much. But also what it does, if you go to the intake form, you got many things. You capture the contact detail, their address. They pay online, even with PayPal, SumUp, Stripe, or whatever. You can have a look. Does the card detail match roughly where they are, who they say they are? If not, doesn't mean it's wrong. Maybe someone else paid for them. Maybe the mother paid, the partner paid for them. But you can see there's something odd there. Always going to confirm, no, that's really who they say they are, and you know who you're talking to. So that's something quite useful there. So sorry, Caruso. Just say, always you want to know who you're talking to, definitely. So the intake form does that as well. So it just confirms they say who they are, who they say they are. And you can also double check as well. Obviously, they can lie, but you got the detail as well. Always have a quick look at the card detail there. The other thing as well you do, what you should do, in my opinion, is you should have a part of it that says, I'm certifying that I don't have those kind of issues, like psychosis, bipolar, blah, 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 blah. Or I have my doctor's approval to go ahead with that. Either way, I know what I let myself into. If they say they don't, yes, again, they can lie, but that will screen out a lot of them. And if they say they do, I can then decide I'm going to refund that guy because I don't want to deal with that. So, but in that, I would say just say, I don't have those problems, and this way you're covered as well. If you've got any insurance issues, if they come in and say, well, actually, yes, I am schizophrenic. Yes, I've got psychosis problem. Yes, you can say, sorry, you said you were not. We got to cancel now. Here's the door. That gives you options. Basically as well. So basically, you should never, ever meet someone if all you have is a phone number and a name they gave you. Hi, I'm Bob. Here's my phone number. You don't know where they live. You don't know where they're from. You don't know how to contact them as well. And you want to get them in your office, spend time with you, and deal with their problems. I've done it many times. Not a wise thing to do looking back at it. So also as well, if you've got all the contact details, if you've got the money, that reduces the no-shows. If there's any issues they're late, you can contact them, you can call them, you can check on them easily. So there's more than safety, but again, you want to know who you're talking to, and it's another way of checking. So now you've got a client, you talk to them, they sound okay, they've give you the money, ka-ching, fantastic. Or at least, even if you do a free session, you've got the intake form, so you know who you're talking to, you know their details. So you're gonna have your session. Great. Something you should always do, because what we do is quite a lonely work, is always have someone who knows exactly when you start your session, when you should stop. And obviously, with confidentiality issues, you may not always be able to say with who you're doing it, but people need to know where you are, just in case. Also, even if there's no problem with the client, let's imagine you got a stroke and you're in your office. So always good to have someone check on you anyway. But personally, I share my calendar with my wife. She can see exactly where I'm going. And always put face-to-face session with and put the first name. And when it finishes, as well, before I go in, I just have a quick chat with her. Hello, okay, I'm just about to start now. See you later. Kiss, kiss, love. Talk to you later. And when I'm finished, first thing I do, hi, darling, I'm done. Do you want me to bring something from the shop? You don't have to say, I'm checking in. But make sure you got contact with people so you don't worry. She knows that if half an hour after the session is finished, I haven't talked to her, either I'm in trouble with someone or I'm in trouble with her because I didn't check in with her. So either way, it's not good for me. So it could be as well, if you share an office, if you have an office with other therapists, as you come in, okay, I'm starting now, see you later, and get in. So it doesn't have to be very official, but make sure there's someone who knows what's going on. Okay. Also, if you got someone you think several times and someone makes you a bit uncomfortable, but you don't want to cancel them, let someone else know that you've got some concerns, so they can be doubly aware that something might happen on that one, so they know to check on you if you don't come back out of that immediately. So, and even if you are really, truly working alone and you've got no friends, no partners, you should look up. There's a lot of services used by other lone workers, such as cleaners, other therapists. You got virtual buddy services online where you can check in and check out. And basically what's going on is if you don't text them or call them, they either call you back. And if there's no response, they can call the cops on, to check on you. So there's services there if truly there's nobody else who can help you out on a more informal level. So you got services. Obviously, you got to pay for them, but again, it's quite useful. As well, on another side as well. Sorry, just quickly checking the chat. Yes, as we say, Carrie, so people with alcohol problem or even just drug problems can become violent. Absolutely, it can happen. Or simply people freaking out for whatever reason. Maybe you've triggered something. The most likely response you will see, as you know, will be people being in tears. But some people, especially guys, they don't do tears, they don't do sun, and they just turn to anger because they don't know how to manage emotions. So it's something that can happen. Again, rare, really, really rare, but it can happen. So yeah, so having someone outside, and again, I'll also talk about how to raise the alarm later and a bit later in a few seconds as well. Another thing as well to do as well, especially once you've got all your number and your details out there, is if anyone start to abuse you on the phone, or if you think that someone is stalking you or whatever, call the cops. Yes, they may not be able to do anything about it. Oh, someone called me again. Yeah, here's the insert number. See you next time. But if you don't report it, they will never know about it. And if something happening regularly, at least after a while, they're going to have to think, actually, there's something going on here. So you've got to be reasonable. But if you suspect there's something going on there's something that's problem with harassment or stalking behavior or anything like that, get it reported. Simply so at the very least, there's a record for it. And when there's something happening, emergency happening later on, it will flag up. Again, different police services in different countries will behave differently. So I can't say it's going to be in the US or anywhere else in Italy. I know in the UK, you're just going to be given a number and that's it, move on. But still report it. Okay. Yes, I think you got perverts. Yes, you give your details to people and you got perverts. Lucky for me, so far there haven't been many people with a fetish on French bull people, but you never know. It could happen. It could happen. Come on, without figures. Not yet. I'm almost offended, actually. Maybe it hasn't happened yet. No, sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's wrong in many ways. But yeah, it's something really you've got to be careful with. Yes, abreaction. Yes, I think is. Well, that's what I was thinking earlier. It's when people, they could freak out, they could panic, and again, it's very rare, but people could trash out and lash out on people. Never happened to me. I don't know anyone who said it happened to them, but technically it can happen. So yeah, and again, as Carissa was saying, with people with drugs, you've got to be careful. I've personally had to, not as a therapist, that's my private life, had to stop a 17-year-old with a psychotic episode. It's hard work, and I'm trained. So yeah, you don't want to deal with that. So, okay. Yeah, and again, abreaction. Yeah, I think is what do you call abreaction? For me, I call it an emotional reaction. So this morning, the lady I was talking to was in tears, and okay, she was in tears. She had to cry. Move on, and I'm not overly worried about that. I will only worry about it again if they become very agitated and violent again. So now, before you let them in your office, a couple of things you should do. I think one of the most important one is to check your office layout. Now, what should you be looking at for? Well, if you have your office, have a look. Yeah, physically in the office, Andrea. So when you're in your office, whether it's home office or in an actual dedicated office, who's closest to the door? If the answer is not you, you're doing it wrong. I want to be able to get out of the office as fast as possible and ideally before them. Okay. Because if they become agitated, violent, threatening for whatever reason, whether they're crazy people, maybe they got something, they hate me for whatever reason I've done to them, or whatever it is, I don't want them to be between me and the door. I want to be able to get out fast. Again, I've got 2 black belts in Aikido. I can take care of myself with most people. I'm tolerant as most. But in December, I had a guy coming in, ex-firefighter, 6'6". Hello, sir. Even I felt intimidated with that. And I wouldn't like him to be between me and the door because I wouldn't know how to deal with him. I would have problems. Well, I've got my ideas, but not nice. So basically, you should be able to get out at an instant's notice, if possible, or at least you should be able to get out of the office faster than your client. Okay. Yes, you want them to be comfortable. You want to be them in the best comfortable spot, warm by the radiator, whatever it is. You want to look out for the feng shui of the place and all of this, and you have the right lighting. Is the magnetic field the right way? Whatever, absolutely fine. But make sure you are in a safe place. Okay. Also, it means as well, make sure there's nothing on the floor between you and the door. Like if you have a laptop case and you put it next to you, something you can trip on. Not a good idea. Keep the exit clear. Also, it could be there's a fire. You want to be able to get out fast anyway. So that doesn't just apply for someone violent. It could apply to this an emergency. You need to get out super fast. Keep the exit clear of things and of clients. Okay, and this again is your safety first. There's second. Very closely after you. Obviously, you want to look after them. You got duty of care, but it's it's you first. So yeah, have a bit of a safe feng shui review of your place, basically. Like for example, here you can see my virtual office. No, that's this way. That's what I can see in that corner over there. The door, is which hand is it? The door is there. So I'm here talking to them. I can get out super fast. Okay, it's a small office as well, but always think about that. And that's the one thing that that's the most common thing I always find. I've seen some people, I went to their places, and later on, when I was back home, I said, do you realize that where we were, I could have attacked you easily and nothing you could have done about it? Obviously, I don't say that once I'm in the office because I don't want to freak them out. But then it makes them review things a little bit, really. Keep all your doors secure. So basically, nobody should come in the practice without being vetted by someone. Obviously, it doesn't mean it's your office door itself that's locked, but there should be someone letting them in to reception or whatever. And actually, in doubt, lock your door. I think you don't want just anyone turning in, because maybe the secretary from the shared place you are, let them in and just get in whilst you're getting ready. So nothing wrong with having your door locked. And there's buzzers, there's doorbells. They're there for a reason. Okay, let them use it. So you don't want anyone to come in just like that unannounced. Also, if you can, and I know that with GDPR and data protection, it's becoming more of a problem now, make sure that the CCTV works if you got any, or if the company you're renting the office from has CCTV camera, check it works. Just because they've got a sign, just because you see a camera with a light on, it doesn't mean it's working. Okay. I've seen many people who do it badly. If they got a 20-year-old system linked to a VCR, the VCR is not plugged in. The camera is on. There's nothing recording. Okay. So if there's any kind of burglary, any kind of attack or whatever, you're screwed. Also, it protects you if someone tries to claim that, oh, I went to see that guy, he attacked me. And then if there's a CCTV camera, actually, you see me at the end, say, oh, thank you very much, shaking hands and living in very good terms. So again, you can't film in your session, in your office, or it's unlikely you can, but at least being able to prove that people came in happy and they left happy, that covers you as well from people doing spurious lawsuit as well. But again, for your own safety, we need to be able to know who's coming out if anything were to happen. Clear so far? Yep. Good. To fake an emergency exit. How do you mean to practice an emergency exit?
No, idea is to fake, as let's say, last possibility, something happens, a kind of emergency exit. Fire, sorry, we have to go out.
Oh,
Everybody
yeah.
No. Immediately out.
I've got that covered.
Something like that.
I've got that covered in a second. I see exactly what you mean.
Okay.
That's
but other thing would be mean as well. What you told, I have as well an office mitten in the town in Basel, and as well sometimes people are trying to enter. Be careful about organized criminality in this sense. One enters often. Some girls try to enter, young girls come with some idea, something, and in the background some other people are waiting. Here, really be careful that only one person can come in and shut down.
Yeah,
nobody else is allowed to enter in this office now when we have our session.
Absolutely. I think is, but in where I am, I'm quite lucky that there's a buzzer and the intercom saying, so basically I can see who's at the door. There's also kind of a double door thing, so it's kind of like a waiting area, and I only let people in if I know they're coming, and that's it. If anyone come to can I come in for the toilet? No, there's McDonald's across the door. Just go over there. Sorry, it's private place. You're not coming in. Definitely. Yes, and absolutely, Caruso. If I don't have any cash in my office, I'm not going to be burgled. Well, they can try. That could be funny. But also, yeah, they won't get in. They won't get anything from me.
Caruso, what happens with Italian? They are coming to you, you have money. No. In other places, they are coming to you. You come out, we go to the next bank, and you take out the money, all what you can.
It can happen, but yeah.
There's always time to escape.
Yes. There's always possible issues there. Yeah, there's so many scams that can happen. Yeah, always be on the lookout if anyone approaches you or anything like that. But that is beyond the therapy and office thing. That is general self-defense, and that can happen to anyone, anywhere. So yeah, so I'll have this thing about, and I'll share with you my ID for exits in a second. So yeah, keep the doors locked. Actually, another thing as well is as you get to your office, people know you're going to be in the office at a certain time. So make sure you park your car in a well-lit area, especially if you're at night, and make sure it's not too far away. Make sure you're not carrying tons of things with you, so you can make an escape quite fast if you have to. So also, if you're sharing your office in a building, you can always ask maybe a security guard where you are, depending the place, so you can ask them to help you at night, and also avoid working late at night. If so, personally, I'm not too bothered by that, but still, even then, I always keep my eyes open. So if you can avoid it, it's always better, or at least make sure, like in where I am, everything is well lit, so you can see around you wherever you go. I'm a big guy. I'm trained, but even then, if there's a dark area that I can't see what's going on and it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm gonna give it a miss. Okay, I don't want to prove anything. and I don't want to be proven wrong, so I'm not going to try that. Okay. Now, another one, which again, I used to make that mistake, is keep your phone on. Always, always, always. So yeah, so Andreas. Yes. Yeah.
Said on, not off.
Don't turn it off. No. Now, put it in silent so you don't disturb. Yes, absolutely. Don't turn it off. You may have to call for help super fast. You might be panicking. 999 or whatever. It doesn't work. Of course, you're on airplane mode, or you turned it off, or it takes too long. No. Keep it on. And later on, I'll share other thing about the phones, but put yourself on DND mode. I think with Android, you can do it. So which means you're silent, and you can have, I believe, maybe one contact can still make the phone vibrate because there's a favorite contact. So put it on DND mode, which means anyone trying to contact you or Facebook ping is going to be silent. But if someone tries to check on you, it vibrates in your pocket or on the table. So you know you've got to take it in, which gives you an out, by the way, Andreas. That's one thing you can do. But simply as well, so you can quite rapidly call for help, because let's imagine they got a heart attack. You panic. Oh my God, he's dying. Now you want to be on and be able to use it straight away. Also, something I do is I share my location via Google Map with my wife. So she knows always where I am. I wonder why. No, sorry, not for that. But but the thing is, if you were...
Seems you agree that she knows all of us where you are.
Yes. So obviously, if you want to do that, you should have nothing to hide. But that is your problem. But the thing is, if you go somewhere as well, you may have an accident, something may happen on the way. So you may not be where they thought you were. So yes, you were supposed to be at the office from that time to that time. You haven't called back. Where is he or where is she? Last seen location over there. So again, is something, again, you're going to have to share your location. And obviously, not everybody like to give away that information to their partners, but I'm fine with that. And that's something that I've started doing, especially since my wife started to do comedy gigs, going to stand up in various places, various towns. You got to go to a pub quite late at night, come back. There's always other people there with her, but I always like to know that the phone is still on. She's where she's supposed to be at the time she's arrived, and she's on her way back. So this way, she doesn't have to worry too much. She just has to send me a message. I'm on my way back, and I can see, yeah, she's on the motorway. Again, I trust her. I know she's going where she says she's going, but something could happen, and at least I can keep an eye on it for her remotely without being always her to be on the phone all the time. So Google Map sharing location is something very useful. Now, one thing as well, when you're in your office, so depending where you are, some offices, if you rent them, they may already have a panic button installed if it's a dedicated place, especially if you're dealing with people with psychiatric problem. But even if they don't, there is an easy way to create one, which is a doorbell. And that allows you to be subtle in many ways. So what you can have one of the doorbells. You can have the doorbell just, let's say, under your chair, on your clipboard, or whatever. Now, what happened with that? Let's say you're talking to someone, blah, 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 something not quite right. Ding, ding, discreetly, you ring the bell. Oh, sorry, I've got to go and take that. So this way, you got an excuse. So excuse me for a second, I've got to answer the door very briefly. And ring it twice. It's a code for someone else to go and check on you. Oh, so there's something arrived for you. You need to sign it. They get in the office because you want people in there right now because you're a bit worried. Or help, please come in. So you can use it in a subtle fashion as well. Or simply you don't feel too well, or you're out of ideas. You need to take a breather. Sorry, I've got to leave. I'll see you later. So it can be used in many ways. But obviously, with that thing, there's two things about it. One is make other people know that this doorbell is not just a door. It's really you need help, or potentially have that code on. And also make sure you can ring it discreetly. So practice ringing it. Because, okay, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, hold on a second. Ding, oh, sorry, someone at the door. Nah. So you want to be able to talk, say, yeah, I think it's remember, yeah, this guy, I had a problem once, and ding, you don't see my hand going there to ring the doorbell because you're busy something else. You want to be able to ring it without looking at it, fast, even under pressure. So you need to know where it is instantly and make sure it's not too visible. So if you've got a big bulky white bell saying, make sure it's discreetly hidden somewhere. Because yeah, if you have to ring it, you don't want them to know. So that's a quick DIY thing, but there are also professional solutions that will link you straight to the police station. But again, you got to pay for that. So it's up to you to see which solution suits you best. Also, the DIY double solution, if you have a home office, works great. So that's another thing as well. Now, next thing, in your office, remove any weapon from your office. Sounds obvious, doesn't it? But what do you classify as a weapon? I'm not talking a handgun. I'm not talking about having a baseball bat. Do you have a big decorative paperweight next to them? Do you have anything that can be picked up and thrown easily? Is there any kind of letter openers? Nice little swords, aren't there? So in my office, all they've got, that's a pocket watch. I don't care too much about that. You have to throw it bloody hard to hurt me. This thing here is a fake plant. It's very, very light. And by the time they pick up that table, I'll be out. So I'm safe. There's nothing at reach they can throw at me. So any kind of decoration that can be easily picked up, used as a staff, a weapon, or stuff like that, nah. You want to make sure it's away. Something, those frames, they're paint and blue tagged, so it's a pain to take out easily. So they can't just go ninja style. No, not in my office. That's been planned. That's been, you baby proof your house. I'm client proofing my office. The lamps, okay, the lamp there is behind them, and at the bottom of it, there's a big heavy metal. I'll show you what I've got. I've got a similar one here. You got a big base, metallic base here, and I'm breaking everything here. So for them to pick that, oops, I'm gone, aren't I? Where's my video gone? I do apologize. I've lost vision. Bear with me 1 second. I'm not quite sure. Yes, I see what happened here. Okay, I've simply unplugged briefly my camera as I was trying to show you my setting. And I'm back now. Hey, sorry about that. So you see, lamps are dangerous, but not for that reason. So yeah, by the time they pick that up, they got to move that chair, pick that up, I'll be gone. That lamp over there, same thing, they have to move the sofa before they take it out. The stool next to them here, same thing. By the time they go there and pick it up, I'm out. Anyway, so they can't surprise me with that. So there we go. Another one of the people forget, hot drinks. Don't. First, as we discussed, I think with Cassie the other day, it's a waste of time to make them tea or a cup of coffee, but also you give them hot water, hot liquid, they can throw at you easily. Now, it's not something I thought about myself, but I had a chat with a guy who's a psychiatrist, and he used to do home visits, and for them, they were being told, no hot drinks, no. Don't offer them like that. And later on, I'll also tell you why you don't want to accept one either. But that's for the next session for home visits. So basically, go for the minimalist look, or make sure everything is glued and nailed down, basically, just in case. Make it friendly, make it lovely. But yeah, look around and try to be devious. What can be used as a weapon? Okay. And I'll talk about later on about if you're tempted to use as a real weapon to defend yourself. I'll tell you in a sec later on why it's a bad idea. Beside being illegal, but that's something else. Also in the US, I think what's legal and weapon-wise is a different league. Okay, now after all of that, the obvious thing to do is, if you feel something is going a bit out of hand, we are trained to use our words, de-escalate. Now you've got a few ways to you can get out. There's no weapons at hand. They don't have a cup of tea to throw at you. You know that if you need to, you got backup coming your way. Talk your way out. Stay calm. Calm tone of voice. And again, if you know that if they're not coming down, you'll be out of here. But remain as calm as you can. Basically, that would be the thing. The last thing you want is to panic and try stupidly to fight them out, or try to restrain them, or whatever stupid idea you may have under pressure. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to come up with like this. And also as well, if you can, avoid booking if you're truly alone in the building. Again, common sense on this one, and sometimes you can't avoid it. Maybe you're the only one living in your flat or in your house, but if you can, avoid it. Now, a few things to mitigate that. If you are working from home, one thing you can do is have the TV on in the living room loud enough so they can hear it when they come in, or the radio or whatever. And you let people in. Oh, hello, sir, madam. Please come in, and say, okay, darling, I'm starting now. See you later. Move in before you wait for the answer. Make them believe. You use your acting skills. You're an actor now. Use the acting skills to make them believe there's someone else there. Why would they doubt it? Of course they won't. They heard the TV, you talk to them, moving in. And that will basically, also it will make them feel safer. They're not alone with you. If you're sharing your office, if you're in an office block, like in my case, for example, make sure all the lights are on, as many as you can. The last thing you want is for them to think you're alone in an office building. Now, where I'm now, I used to have to go through the whole long corridor at the back of the office block to go to a small, tiny office when I started. Now, I'm dealing mainly with anxious people, and 2/3 of them are women. I'm a big guy. I'm leading them all the way down the corridor toward the back of the building. It probably is them as well. So not only making people believe there's other people around, make you safer because there's other people don't do anything stupid. You can also turn it around and make them people feel more comfortable following you. Obviously, only do that if you're a nice person. Okay, if you're an evil person with bad intent, don't do that at all. But you've got to think about what impression you may give. So yeah, as far as you're concerned, you're never on your own in the office. As far as they know, you're not on your own in the office. There's people around. And even if you can't blag your way out that way, what you can do, you can make them believe someone's going to turn up at some point. You can say, oh, by the way, so we're going to start the session now, but in maybe half an hour, there's my 6'6" kickboxing black belt bodybuilder plumber. He's going to come and check the toilets. So that's fine. He's not going to make any noise, and move on. So at least if they think of doing anything stupid, yeah, they're going to think twice about it. Or maybe find something more credible than that, obviously. But you know what I mean. You're not on your own as far as they're concerned. Okay. So yes, remove plastic glass, absolutely. Plastic bottles, yes. And especially now with COVID, and I think in the UK, it's not recommended to give them water anyway because of risk of contamination anyway. So yeah, as you can see here, I still got my jug of water, but that picture was taken a year ago. That's not there anymore. So that's fine. So minimize weapon on that. Plastic bottles, absolutely. So questions so far about, I'm going to talk about home visits in a second, but any feedback, insults?
Just me one, let's say, only case I had in such a sense was completely different. I was 4 of it together with a lady, 63 years old. We made some hypnosis, everything was okay, everything good. And later she claimed, yeah, I wanted something sexually from her.
Yeah.
How can you protect with these kind of things? I mean, nowadays over Zoom, you just record, and if a late a judge is coming or somebody else, you can show, sorry, this was what we said. But physically, what do you do? Just record everything, or
that's a tricky one. Obviously, the only way you can really counter that would be recording the session, and you may want to do that. Absolutely. Problem is, you're gonna have to check your legislation where you are, because you either have to tell them you're recording it, in which case it's fine as well. But people may not be as forthcoming if you record them. That's a problem. Also, you have all the data protection. How do you keep the recording? Where do you keep it? What do you do with it for how long? So you're opening a massive kind of worm. But yes, the only thing you can do is record the session and make sure they're happy with that. You can put that in the intake form, actually. Absolutely, that's something I totally forgot about. So thank you for that point. I didn't think of that point. So yeah, check what you can do, but also consider how will they react to knowing they're recorded. Now, the other thing you can do, you can have CCTV in the office as well. I believe, again, don't take my word for it, but I believe as long as you don't record the sound, it can be okay. But again, as someone who knows about the legislation, as someone who knows about security cameras, because at least you can say, well, look, I was always 6 feet away from that person. How can I ask anything sexual there? So that's that as well. And again, that's why actually I said earlier, make sure at least a CCTV camera that are outside of your office, if you have any, works, because at least you can show, well, hold on, she came in my office, she was all happy and smiling, she left the office happy and smiling as well. And at least that gives you some backup. Obviously, she might leave absolutely pissed off, in which case, yeah, you're in trouble. Yeah, it's a tricky one. And again, it's a risk. Yes. So, and again, it can happen. Has it happened to me yet? No. Thank God for that. But who knows? Maybe the next time I see someone face to face, it's going to happen. But yeah, there's a lot of things you can do like that. But yeah, Kathy, yeah. Also, the thing as well is that's why doing on Zoom is easier, because you don't have that risk at all. But yeah, also recording. How do you record it? What do you use? Do you record it on your computer? Do you have a device that a handheld device you put on the side that can be nicked by someone else? There's a lot of things you're going to look at for on this one. So yeah. Yes, Gary. So I'm not going to repeat that because it's going to be recorded. Anyway, it's not that rude, but anyway. But yeah, there is a thing about recording your sessions. But for that, I will say ask someone who has experience on the legislation, because it opens a massive can of worm, especially in Europe with GDPR. In the US, I'm not sure how it's going to work, but it's a nightmare. And that's why I'm not bothering with it. And I'm taking my chances. So, and I'm hoping my good reputation will be enough. No, I don't think we want Carissa to share experiences on that. That could be dangerous. Entertaining, but dangerous. Okay, good. So, couple more things. I'm nearly done, you'll be pleased to know. Couple of things about home visits. Now, obviously, only do home visits if you are 100% sure and confident that you can do it safely and you can handle yourself. Okay. And again, it's not about size, because I know small ladies who don't look like much who will kick my ass. So it's not about that. But yeah, make sure it's safe, basically. So what can you do to make sure it's safe? Check the area you're going to, because the client might be fine, absolutely. But maybe when you leave, you're going to find your cars on bricks, or the wheels have been nicked, or it's on fire, or you're going to be mugged on the way. So check the area first. If you don't like the area, say, sorry, I don't do home visits in that area, and that's fine. I've had one case where that what happened. Nothing happened to me, but I had that kind of slight worry because it was an estate which looks a bit dodgy, and the guy opening the door full of tattoos and everything. Nice, the nicest guy I've ever met, actually, but one of them anyway. But I was starting to think, why are they gonna hear? kind of thing. You want to avoid that. So now I'm always checking the area first. Again, make sure someone knows where you're going. And again, sharing your location if you can. Check on them. Quick message on WhatsApp. Yeah, I've just arrived, darling. Thank you very much. Kiss. See you later. But make sure they know what's going on. They know you're alive. Okay, when you come in when you get in the house, now it's not always possible, but if you can, let them lead you where they need to go. Don't get them behind you. Say, oh, here, go over there, you first, and you start walking the house, and they're behind you. You don't know what's happening. No. You let them go first. You follow them. Okay, they show you, they guide you to the place where they can go. So basically, what you can do: get in, get to the side. Oh no, yeah, sure. No, you go first. You show me, no, please, and you use your extra nice manners thing. Also, keep an eye as you're doing that, whether they're locking the door and how. Because obviously, people would lock the door. Of course, they would. But is there five locks in which case, alarm bells ringing, and you want to be able to know how do you undo that quite quickly. Oh, I'm talking about you visiting someone, Caruso, not in your office. Yeah, home visits. Yeah, home office, yes. Home office, yeah, you want to make sure all the doors are locked. Yes, absolutely. Or there's someone else there to kick them out if need be. Absolutely. Because you may have family, you may have kids or whatever. Obviously, their safety comes first. Thank you for reminding me that. Yeah, lock all doors. Absolutely. So if you go to someone else's house again, so let them lead you. Keep an eye on whether they lock the door and how. Also, who else is there? As far as you know, do they have pets? Because I can't tell you what, being welcome. I love dogs. I'm a big sucker for dogs. But when you've got a staffy barking at you, it's a bit unsettling. Okay. I'm sure that dog was quite friendly. I'm not sure. So again, there's that. Remember your exit route. Generally, for most houses, it's quite easy and simple, but you need to be able to get out fast. Okay. Hopefully, it's quite rare you're going to have to go to someone's manor or castle, so the exit would be easy. But still, remember. Now, one thing you can do is to use a virtual chaperone. Now, what you can do, and what I would recommend you do, again, back to the phone. Before you knock on the door, call someone, keep them on the line, and keep the phone in your hand. Get in, and only hang up when you sat down and you're happy everything is good. And say, oh, sorry, I'm going to put my phone on silent. Phone off. Bam. You got someone at the other side of the line listening in, making sure everything is good. So, and if you want, you can even keep the phone on, the line on all the time, but that might open some issues with confidentiality. But I will say, have someone there listening and making sure you are in the house and happy to be in the house. And if anything is wrong and you can't get out fast because I locked the door, you can literally call for help immediately. So that will give you at least some time to settle in and get a sense of, yeah, no, okay, everything is good. This person is lovely, and that's fine, which will be the case most of the time, by the way. I want to reiterate that. Drinks. Be polite, but I will say decline their drinks. Many reasons for that. Now, I was still working in IT, and I've done a lot of home visits, and people's definition of a good cup of coffee or cup of tea varies a lot. So if you were to accept a cup of coffee or cup of tea from someone else, you might be prepared to have something absolutely disgusting, and they mean well. But more importantly, have you seen their kitchen? Now, what have they put in it? You don't know. So I would say, have your bottle of water. So, no, so a cup of tea. No, that's okay. And no, that's okay. I've got my own, actually. Getting thirsty now. No, thank you. I'm okay. Don't need tea now. Thank you very much. And move on. So yeah, because again, you don't know what type of hygiene is been. You don't know how the cup has been washed as well. So you don't want to risk it at best of time. And finally, as well on that one is don't spread yourself. But I mean is, okay, I've got a notepad, I've got my pens, I've got my phone, I've got my tablets, I've got this, I've got that. No. Everything on me, I've got my cup next to me maybe, and I may have a notepad, which I can quite easily discard. I don't keep anything. That notepad is being used, other notes are being written down later on, and I take everything off. So basically, I've got a blank notepad with me at every time. So if I need to leave, that stays there. I don't care. My biro, I won't come back for it. I don't care. I'm out. And if anything feels off at any moment, if you can, find an excuse and leave. Okay? You are allowed to leave at any time you want. It's your safety before manners. And it's your safety before politeness. Now, all we can do is simply say, oh, sorry, I fell unwell as well. I had to rush because I was feeling sick. You can always excuse yourself later if you have to. Almost just say you're unwell and oh, sorry, I need to go. I need some fresh air, and pretend it's something else if you really have to, or simply just get up and go. And they think, what happened? Let them. Again, it's rare it's going to happen, but if you think you're in danger, why wait? Go. Okay, it's you first, always, always, always. Okay, happy with that? Excellent. Now, the last few things about self-defense, a few basic self-defense notions. So as I said at the beginning, fighting is a tiny fraction of actual self-defense. Self-defense is a huge subject. It's complex. There's from what you can do, what you can't do, the legality of it, how you can get yourself into trouble if you're not careful, because sometimes what starts as self-defense end up into assault without you noticing it. And if you say, "Oh, sorry, it was self-defense," you're basically admitting, I assaulted someone. I beat him up because I did self-defense. And then legally you look at it, no, that's assault, in jail. Boom. You don't want to risk it. Obviously, if you fear for your life, give him hell. Absolutely, because that's actually a situation where you should. But to stay on the safe side, as a martial arts instructor with many years of experience, my advice are, number one, run and call for help. Number two, run and call for help. Number three, in doubt, run and call for help. And if you can't do that, give them hell, then run and call for help. But I'm trained, and yet I will do everything I can to not be in a fight. That's the last thing I want to do for my safety and theirs, because that's why if I injure them, I'm in trouble. So yeah. Are you going to teach us our best move? Yeah, run. That's my best move. I think is, as I always joke with my students when they first arrive, the best way to be safe in a fight, don't be there. Second best move, get away from there. And the third, then yeah, I'm giving you options to hopefully not get killed. That's what martial arts do. They give you options, nothing more. Again, I'm trained, but they only have to be lucky once. I don't want to take that risk. Okay. Simple thing though, don't turn your back on them unless you're far enough and or running away, which you should be doing by now. But you want to know what they're doing. Now, as well, the usual thing, oh, I'm going to kick them in the nuts. Yes. Problem is, guys, know that move. We are very good at blocking that. And if we don't block it, you made us very angry. You don't want that. And some people will go down for 10 minutes. Some people will be boom, angry and run after you. So again, run. Also, if you can lift your foot to kick someone, you can lift your foot to run away. That's my opinion. If you're being attacked, again, I hope it's never going to happen. Make some noise, scream, but don't just, no, ah! Just say, literally, call the cops, call the police, and scratch him and keep repeating it. Give people instructions to what to do so they have no bloody doubt. It's not a neighbor having some weird sex games. It's not someone watching the TV too loud. Is something going on, and I've been told to call the cops. I'm going to call them straight away. Okay. Also, if you're outside and people are passing by, don't say, help, help. Say, you with a blue coat, help. Single them out. They're more likely to answer and help you. Apathy in a crowd is quite scary. Also, sometimes people will also come together to help you out. So that's both things as well. But I will always say, if you can, point at someone and say, you, please help me, until someone helps you. Yeah, I think I was saying earlier, if you're thinking of carrying a weapon for self-defense, whether it's a gun or a knife or pepper spray or buttons or whatever it is, well, first check it's legal. Again, in Europe, very likely it's not. In the US, you can carry, fair enough. Make sure you know how to use them, because some of them can backfire. Even if you're in a place where pepper spray are legal, in a small room, you're going to be in trouble as well. Okay, it goes both ways. Also, it might not be suited because, yeah, oh, I've got a gun, I'm safe. Yeah, right. If we're 3 feet away from each other, I can get to you before you can get your gun out. Take the safety out. Now, they've done studies, a knife against a gun depends on distance. In a small place, you can get surprised. I wouldn't rely on that, personally. But again, I'm not an expert on guns, but yeah. Also, remember, yes, exactly, that's my third point. In a fight or in a panic, it can be taken from you. Absolutely, that's my third point. Thank you, Carrie. So I can see the fighter here. Yeah, even never bring a weapon to a fight, and if you don't have to, because they'll take it from you. I know I'm trying to do that. So you come at me with a knife, I will be running away. If I can't run away, I'll take that from you. And then I've got the knife. And finally, as well, are you really ready to shoot someone or stab someone and live with it? My opinion, no, I'm legging it. Prevention, legging it. So that's my view on that. And again, I know when you think about it like that, it sounds a bit scary. It's, oh my God, why am I thinking about being a therapist now? I want to insist very clearly here right now, what we're talking right now is 1 in a million chance. Okay, it's very minimal. And if you follow all my instructions to start with, and the instructions that we've been given here today by you guys, you're gonna minimize any kind of risk like that. Okay, you want to make sure it's safe. So again, follow your gut instinct and have some steps to prevent and have an escape route so you don't have to go down that route. Because yeah, I think it's, as I was saying earlier, in the heat of the moment, you may start a self-defense and you may get carried away and you may end up assaulting the guy or the girl for that matter. And you could justify it. So you don't want that. So again, that's why I know I joked about it, but run, call for help. Run, call for help. That should be the main thing, and do everything you can so you can run out for help. If you ever did Krav Maga, for example, which is the Israeli commando hand-to-hand combat, their philosophy is get out. Our thing is do anything you can to get free of the attack or whatever and get out of it as fast as you can. My style of Aikido is get out of the way, always. Most martial arts, if they're half decent, will tell you that as well. Don't fight. That's the best defense. Okay. Now, if you want to know a bit more about actual self-defense, Again, it varies a lot from country to country, but there's a lot of common sense principle that applies to everybody. And there is a site which I quite like. It's an American site, and it's called no-nonsense-self-defense.com. It contains a lot. It's by a guy called Animal Mark Animal Young. The guy has lived a colorful life, shall we say, and has been into many situations. And basically, in that website, he shares a lot of his advice, and he goes from normal self-defense to active shooter situations. So quite a lot of things that some of us will never meet in our lives, depending where you live. And when you go on the site, one thing that might actually surprise you is the amount of articles it's got, because it is a massive subject. So that's why I personally think people should learn to focus on prevention. So just like you learn to lock your doors, again, all these things. So just to very briefly recap, make sure you know who you're talking to, get the details, make sure your office is safe, make sure the doors are locked, whether it's to get them in or the other doors in your house, if you get them in your house. Any issue, get out, call for help. Again, whether it's a panic button, whether you got someone on the phone, as we discussed, many situations there. Listen to your instinct, and it's your safety first. Okay, if you feel your physical safety is on the line, then basically I don't care about their feelings. If I feel I'm threatened by you, I don't care about you anymore. That's me first. Okay. Again, I hope that's never going to happen to me, but if it comes down to that line, you've got to look after number one. I don't mean just me. You don't have to look after me. I can look after myself, but look after yourself. That's what I mean. Okay. So I think that's covered quite a lot. I know a lot of it is common sense and goes without saying, but you'd be surprised how many times I've got to say it. That's a problem, because people focus too much, and I understand why, onto making people comfortable and being lovely and friendly and comfortable and nice. Yes, do that. Absolutely. Do it safely. That's pretty much it. So I think pretty much I'll run over. I'm not really we started a few minutes late, so good. I've timed it right. So any question or anything you need to add to that? Anything I may have forgotten? You think, yeah, but what about this? So to share with people who will watch the replay.
Can I add something?
Please.
So to detect people, it's useful to know something. For example, if you not command, but indicate, sit there, please, and they want to sit someone else, or they don't follow your instruction, this is a sign.
Yeah.
Because you are in charge in your office. So they have to follow instruction, not only in the hypnotic session, but because you are the owner, they have to follow instruction. So this is a sign. Another sign is they're not attent. They have no attention on you. They think in someone else. It can trigger something.
Yeah.
So it's important they focus on you, on what you say. Another sign is they tense, they shake, they are angry. And this, you can feel it when people get inside.
Yeah.
So if you can calm down them, it's okay. If you see they still angry, it's better you send them home. You say, I'm not going to charge you for this session. Go home. We're gonna meet another time if you want, if you believe it's safe. And then
but I think on this one, I think, is absolutely that. I think if you feel something is off, if you're saying it's not going right, stop. Absolutely. It's not worth the money, it's not worth your time, it's not worth your safety. And as you say, just finally could send them home and get ready to get out fast if you have to. But absolutely, follow your guts on that. Yeah.
And about environment, it's a good idea if you're a woman to have a desk where you can, I mean, have something in between you and them so that you can turn and you have always protection in between. Yeah, you have a desk and them so they cannot reach you. And this is important for safety. And I would like also to say that Christoph, you have done a nice webinar. It's well organized. I mean, this is, look, and I want to add something, if you allow me, because in marketing, I know there's a research in psychology about the environment, and we tend to say that the client should be the closest to the door, to the exit. Why? Because they tend to feel free to go away, feel free to
Yeah.
stop the session as they want. So I used to have my back on the wall, and they are the first close to the door. But in this, in the realm of safety, you are absolutely right. You
Yeah.
put yourself close to the door, and if you need, you go away. So you can also change the situation in your office in order to do or to invite different clients.
Absolutely. But I think as well, I think when I was a vaccination and everything, you may have to go and see a nurse quite soon or whatever. And you'll notice quite often they either got two doors, so you get in one door and they got the other one, so they got one for each, or you at least both equidistant to the door. Like the door is there, you're here, there's there, and it's this again. You don't want anything in the way between the client and the door. You want them to see the door is there. You can get out whenever you want. Absolutely. I'm not going to be there in front of the door blocking the way. That will freak them out. But I'm still close. If there's only one door, I'll be closest to it. And if you go to doctors as well, you might notice quite often, if they're fairly recent, you notice that there's not much difference between you and them to the door, or they're going to be closer as well, at least to one door. So again, some people like the thing of, please welcome to my office, and they're at the back with a massive big desk and everything. They welcome you in that domain. Nah, don't do that.
Can I add the last one, Christoph?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a colleague of mine in Italy. She deals with different kinds of problematic people. When she doesn't feel safe, she allows the dogs get in. So she does all the session with the dog. It's a big dog. It's not huge, but it can bite you. And dogs, they tend to feel when the owner is in problems. So it can, how do you say, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, warn them, yeah.
Yeah.
Defend them. Also, it's good for therapy. I think personally, I would love to have a dog as my therapist room if I went to therapy, but that's something different. Also, you've got to be careful with that as well. Obviously, some people may have dog phobias or people may have allergies. But again, you ask them, and is it okay for me to have my dog with me? It's lovely, it's friendly. It's about that toy will take your head off, but it's friendly. Just to want, no, absolutely. And anything that can help you. And it's not always necessarily obvious. Yeah, I can have a nice, friendly dog. But my dog, she's getting old now. But when she was younger, yeah, definitely, if someone were a bit dodgy, she would growl at them. I think she would pick people and look at the guy and say, "No, you're right. I don't like that guy either." And they pick not only if you're feeling fearful, or they would pick on that because they know you back to front, but they would also warn you. No, this guy is, or the woman is dodgy as well. I think I don't want to be sexist. Women can be quite vicious as well. I know a few.
I may just say, I had a friend at one point. I don't have this friend anymore for very good reason. And she's not been to my house for a while, but she used to come regularly for coffee. And one day she came in, and my dog, who's really gentle, did growl. And she was surprised, and I was surprised. But actually, from that point, she was so horrible, nasty. And my dog obviously picked up on some vibe that she had, which embarrassed me at that point. But my dog was absolutely right. This woman went on to be just like a stroppy teenager that day. Her behavior was absolutely appalling. We are not friends anymore. But if I might also add that I've been seeing clients here in my home for about 20 years or something like that. And everything that you say today, I think, is really sensible. Lots of stuff to put in a risk plan. And also in all of that time that I've been seeing people, I think I've had one client who could have been a danger to me. So just to kind of put some kind of perspective on it, that I think it's fabulous to have the plan.
Yeah.
And having it makes us feel safe, and the chances are the majority of the time it is safe.
Yeah.
I hope it's okay to offer that, and not, I don't mean to contradict in any way, but
no, absolutely. You're going along with the line, as I said at the beginning. The risks are minimal. But even if you look at someone like Anthony, for example, who said that only once he talked about that event where someone admitted he was schizophrenic, and he started to think, shit, I'm in the office on my own, and that's when he started to realize I need an escape plan now. And I was thinking, really? Only then you worry about that? That should have been done beforehand. And again, Anthony has had thousands of clients, and only one gave him a bit of a worry, and it's him kind of being a bit paranoid. So again, the risk of anything bad happening, again, is minimal, not non-existent. And I'd rather have peace of mind all the time, so I can give all my attention to them, not having to worry about, okay, how can I get out? What's going to happen next? If anything, it makes sure I am calmer. If they start to get agitated, I know I can take my time and calm themselves down, knowing that if anything happens, I'm out. That's fine. I don't care about that. That gives me confidence. That gives me a better rapport with them, because I know I am safe, basically. And knowing that if I feel I'm not, then I'm out, and that's it. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I think some people don't think about that, and they do their whole career for 40 years absolutely fine as well. Absolutely. I'd rather position in my favor actively. And that's because of my background. That's because I've been asked so many times about self-defense and about stuff like that, and I've had so many horror stories. But to be fair, those horror stories are from outside of the field of therapy, and even outside of the field of actually martial art or fighting, actually. A lot of it is down to everyday life. But I'm not going to go down that route now, because I'll be here for hours and I will scare you. So I don't want to do that. But yeah, prevention is key. Absolutely. Absolutely. For you and for your client, as I said, I've changed my office now. Office I am, well, the office was a picture's been taken here. There is a bigger one and a better place. But the first one I started to a tiny office at the back of dodgy, well, not dodgy looking, but not very friendly looking office thing. And I knew I had about 50 seconds of small chat to make them feel safe and comfortable to follow a big guy down that corridor there, down over there for that office, to be there for 2 hours on your own with someone. So it goes both ways as well. If you know you're safe, they will feel safer as well. You can be nice and relaxed and your normal self. So some of the stuff I've said today goes both ways. You can, especially if, like me, you deal with people with anxiety, they will be happy to have a safe environment as well. So there we go. Anything else? Yeah. You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Christoph. You have been brilliant. Really, really brilliant. It's difficult to talk about the topic. This topic is huge. I studied a lot about it. We had the chat about, much less. It is huge, but you put it down so elegantly. Well done, really well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your feedback. That's great. And I think what I'll do as well anyway, I will edit the beginning and the end bit, and I will put most of it on the group as well, for everybody else to watch and everything. And please share freely. I don't care. I'm not making money out of that. That's not the point. I just want to make sure. I think the main key here is for people to think about where they are. And again, everything I've said is common sense. It goes without saying, but you need to remember it. and every now and then have your risk assessment, and then you've done that. That's it. You can move on and you can forget about it, knowing it's there. It's an insurance, basically. Okay. Well, but in which case, so if that's all, then I will release you into the wild, and you're gonna be all safe, I hope. And yeah, go there, help people, be magnificent, and make the world a better place. Thank you very much, people.
Thank you so much.
See ya. Cheers.
Thank you very much, Christoph. Very helpful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye. Bye, folks.
See you, everyone.
And